What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical average American here today to react and learn about amazing facts about Japan. As an American, I really don't know much of anything about Japan, but what I do know is that Japanese culture is very, very different to American culture. And that is exactly why I want to learn about it. That is why it sounds so amazing to me and so interesting. Because Japanese culture is so different to American culture. There's a lot of different places around the world, like Europe or Canada, that are kind of similar to America, but Japan is unique, has a bunch of different traditions and customs and a lot of stuff I don't know about. So I'm very excited today to react to this video here that's going to talk about a lot of different parts of Japanese life and Japanese society and how Japanese culture works. And there's a lot of different random facts in here that I'm very, very excited to learn about. So with that being said, let's take a look.
Japan is also known as the land of the rising sun. The kanji.
I've heard of that. I've heard Japan referred to as the land of the rising sun. That's a very beautiful title. I'm not sure who made that up, actually. Where does that come from? But I've heard of that, but I don't know why Japan is called that.
Kanji translates to sun origin.
Oh, okay.
This is because, from a Chinese point of view, the sun rises from Japan.
Oh. Oh my gosh. Okay. So maybe that's why I didn't catch the meaning of this exactly, being an American. So if you're in China looking at Japan, that is where the sun literally rises from Japan. That is awesome. Oh my God, that's so cool. Okay.
Japan consists of over 6,800 islands.
What? What? I see like a map of Japan here, and I see that like the mainland is like 1, 2, 3, 4 islands, maybe more. And I know there's some tiny islands, but 6,000? 6,000 Japanese islands? I guess you have to really zoom in on the map to see them. Oh my gosh, do Japanese people live on all of those islands? Or how does that work?
The 4 largest islands are Honshu, Hokkaido,
Okay.
Kyushu, and Shikoku.
Hokkaido, Honshu, Shikoku, Kyushu. I didn't realize Japan was cut up into 4 islands. That sounds so silly, but honestly, in America, we're not really taught about Japan or Japanese geography or much of anything about Japanese history, which is why I'm very, very happy to finally, learn about it, even if it is as an adult, but finally.
These 4 islands make up about 97% of Japan's land area.
Okay.
There are 47 prefectures in Japan.
Yes, I did not know this until a few days ago. A few days ago, I started learning about the 47 prefectures. Kind of reminds me of like the states in the United States, so I can kind of relate a little bit.
More than 70% of Japan is mountainous.
What?
Mount Fuji is the tallest mountain in Japan.
Wait, what? This is like, it's like this video is like a cartoon and it's kind of silly, but it has really, really good information. I know this is a bit basic information, but I didn't know any of this. This is perfect for me. It's like for a child, but it's perfect. It's perfect for me too. I know Mount Fuji is in Japan. 70% of Japan has mountains? That is so much. So are towns and cities built on these mountains? I guess so, because it's 70%. Wow.
at 3,776 meters.
Oh my gosh.
There are more than 1,500 earthquakes a year.
What?
Japan has a
Why? Oh my gosh. There are some parts of the United States that get earthquakes. I think California, like on the west. But and funny enough, that's the closest side to Japan. I wonder if that's related. But 1,500 earthquakes in Japan, it's just like a normal thing. That means there's like at least 4 or 5 earthquakes every day in Japan on average. What causes that? Is that just a normal part of life in Japan? My goodness.
year. Japan has a population of around 126 million people.
See, I never knew that either. I never knew how many Japanese people there are. Because that is a lot. Like, America is gigantic and has 350 million people, roughly. Japan is much smaller, but has a third the population of the United States. There are so many people just on the islands of Japan. It's incredible.
Which is less than half of the population of the United States.
Yeah, right.
Yet the area of Japan is just slightly larger than the area of California.
That is unbelievable. That is unbelievable. Japan is so small, but it's like a third of the population of America. Wow, the population must be very dense in Japan, huh?
Japan has the third largest economy in the world,
Wow.
behind the United States and China.
I didn't know that either. I did not know that. I would have thought it would have been like the United Kingdom or somewhere random. I don't know, like France or Germany or Canada or something. Japan. Japan is right up there. Number 3 in the world, biggest economy. So Japan is very, very, very important to like the world economy, to the financial system of the entire planet. It's got a lot of the money in Japan and a lot of the technology and resources, huh? Wow.
Japan has the second highest life expectancy. Women's life expectancy is 87,
Wow.
while the men can expect to live until 80.
Oh man, I'm scared to think about the American life expectancy, because Japanese people must eat and live a lot more healthy. Americans, me included, like don't eat the healthiest, and we don't really walk very much. We drive everywhere in our cars and don't exercise. I'm scared what our life expectancy is, but I'm very happy for Japan. That's amazing.
Japanese is the official language of Japan.
Right.
Japan has a prime minister
Okay.
and not a president.
Okay.
But
Right.
Japan also has an emperor.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That I knew there like was an emperor of Japan. I thought that was like ancient history. But Japan has an emperor still. But I don't think it's part of the Japanese government really. It's more the emperor is more symbolic and like based on tradition and respect and unity of the Japanese people. But I didn't even know there was an emperor still. I know Japan, I recently learned Japan has like a democratic government with elected officials, and instead of a president like America, it has a prime minister. So that was really cool to learn about how similar Japan and the United States are with our governments.
Who is the constitutional monarch and ceremonial head of state.
Right, ceremonial head of state. Okay. That's so cool because America never had a king or a monarch or an emperor, so it's a little difficult for Americans to relate to this. Some Americans even make fun of it. Some Americans think it's dumb, but I think it's awesome. It's this amazing part of history and tradition, and I think Japan having an emperor is really amazing.
Japan enjoys all 4 seasons.
Okay.
Summer is quite hot and humid in
Okay.
many parts of Japan.
Okay.
There is a rainy season that lasts for about 6 weeks from early to midsummer.
There's a rainy season. I don't think America really has a rainy season. This is like 6 weeks? How much of Japan does this affect? Where it's just raining all the time? I wonder what causes that. I've never heard of that. A rainy season. Huh.
Winter is especially cold
Oh.
in the north part of Honshu and Hokkaido.
Okay.
Autumn is a very popular time of the year, with many people taking in the beautiful autumn colors in and around the countryside.
Yeah. I know Japan has a lot of beautiful forests and country. Japan has a lot of wonderful nature, honestly. So I can see in August, it must be beautiful. Japanese are so great at being connected to nature. Americans are not very good at that. We don't really get out or in touch with nature enough. Especially learning about this, it kind of makes me think about these things a bit more, which I enjoy.
Spring is an especially popular time for friends, family, and coworkers
Right.
to gather in the park for cherry blossom season. Each season also
It's kind of funny they're showing a lot of like American people. Shouldn't these be Japanese people that they're showing? Oh, okay, whatever. It's a cartoon, whatever.
gather in the park for cherry blossom season.
Yeah, see, that's another thing. Like, Americans would never gather in the park and enjoy nature and, like, that needs to, like, come back. I feel like with technology, Americans have gotten lazier and lazier and more out of touch with nature. And Japanese seem to have maintained that discipline and that connection with nature. So I really respect that. That's amazing.
Each season also is associated with special foods.
Okay.
For example, various dishes made with bamboo shoots in
Oh.
the spring.
Oh, bamboo. That's right, bamboo. We don't have bamboo in the United States. I know about bamboo. How do you incorporate that into the food? As like part of the presentation? Like the plate or something?
Cool noodles and watermelon
Oh.
in the summer.
Okay. All right. Americans like watermelon. That's a similarity. Nothing. There's like no similarities except for watermelon. There you go.
Chestnuts and apples in autumn.
Okay.
And one pot cuisine called nabe,
Nabe.
in the winter.
Nabe.
Of course.
Is that like to warm you up or something, I wonder?
There's a lot more about Japan. I could go on and on about this beautiful country.
Okay.
Hot springs, temples,
Yeah.
castles,
Yeah.
shopping, food, and lots more.
Yeah, the hot springs. Like this is not the first time I've heard about the hot springs. Those seem very cool. I wish we had those actually. And Japanese castles and temples and Japan's connection to like its history and its culture and its ancient traditions is really admirable. Like I love that so much. Like America doesn't have a very long history, so we don't really have many old things to like look back on and honor, whereas Japan does a really great job of that, and I think that's so cool.
But I'll save it all for the next lesson.
Ah,
Thanks for watching.
Okay. Wow, that was really good. That was by Learn English by Pocket Passport, and I got to give that video a like. That was good. It was kind of like very simple and like cartoony, but it did a great job at explaining some of the basics of how Japan is kind of behaves as a culture, some of the behaviors and norms, and a little about the government and how everything is organized. So this was actually fantastic. Like, I didn't exactly know what I was going to learn about, but This is great. I love this stuff. And all the mountains, and the big population of Japan, and the seasons, and the food. Yeah, this was great. Like, I just love learning about random stuff about Japan because there's no other way that I'd really get to learn this stuff. Like, in America, Japan and Japanese culture is not really taught or discussed. So, and I think that's a shame. So, I really, really enjoyed this. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Japan and Japanese culture, and stuff about Japan I've never seen before or learned about, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.